Okay. The more you do nothing, the more you want to do nothing. And when you get used to a habit, especially an easy one like giving up or not putting any effort into what you dearly want, then you become that person that does that all the time as a reflex. And you drift further and further away from what you want to be and where life could be better. And you're constantly annoyed at yourself. You're essentially choosing to stay in darkness because getting up to go out into the sunlight is just too much effort. And here's the thing. When we push through procrastination and laziness and just do the thing we know we should do, even though it's a drag, we almost always feel proud and alive that we decided to do it anyway. But it's always afterwards that we realize this clarity. It's like we smile to ourselves at that moment and say, man, I'm glad I didn't miss out on this feeling by staying where I was before. And we should always remember that moment, how essential it is to just take that first step. Create, create, create. One thing that has been constantly going back to the philosophical well of Stoicism is the positive attitude towards trying to make the best out of your life by sheer will alone. Basically, Stoicism is categorizing everything in life, everything, into two rational sides. That which I can control and that which I cannot control, and then focusing on what you can. And it's that simple a concept. Not always easy to do, but that's the concept. And you think this way because you choose to, not because anyone allows you to, but because you want to. It's whether you choose to believe this glass half full or half empty proposition. It reminds me of one of my favorite quotes from Ayn Rand, where she once said, "The question isn't who will let me, but who will stop me." I've had conversations with guys online whose IQ exceeds mine by double digits. Seriously, brilliant and articulate guys that I admire for their knowledge on topics. Yet, they're miserably certain about all manner of things, where they often tell me I'm naively optimistic. But here's the thing, even if that was the case, and let me extend that very real possibility to their intelligent, dead-end conversations, whose quality of life is better? I mean, seriously, my perspective of trying again, or their one and done mentality. Can you imagine any novelist you admire saying in an interview, "Yeah, I got my first story rejected, so I just gave up"? No, they regrouped, learnt lessons, and got up and more determined than ever. Every organism's prime directive is to survive. And the way many guys talk today, they're barely a living organism. Most of the ultra clever ones out there that I've spoken to and I've met are so beholden to their airtight logic that it also hamstrings their imagination on being able to even consider another way to approach the issue. They can't creatively work out any sum that is not 1 + 1 = 2. It's always 1 + 1 for them. They can never imagine 3 - 1 or 5 - 3. How they approach life does not reside in the creative, adjustable personal area. No, to them, life is mathematical. The problem is a fixed problem, and the odds are fixed odds. All things are ontological and static to them. And there is no grey, subjective area within or around the issue at all. To them, there is only a straight line through every single documented problem we face in life. Like a scientist just recreating the same predictable outcome. While to me, it's almost always grey. And sometimes, it's in colour. Yeah, I know, hard to believe, right? And why is it that way for me? Am I naive? Was I born stoically excessive or clownish? No, it's because I've chosen to be this way. Because between two options, one of giving up and another of trying again, I'll try again. If there's no real downside to trying again. And especially if there's still a realistic way to succeed this time if I change my approach, if I've learned something. And this way of being has worked for me over and over and over again. Now, the absolutists out there will say, human, you just got lucky a few times. Okay, maybe. But did I? Or did I manufacture better luck for myself the more real I got about myself? Sure, I could have become one of them. Most guys are. I could have become one of their safe, zero-sum, nihilistic, I told you so kind of people. But I didn't. So was it all luck? All of it? Really? The STEM absolutists see predetermined outcomes based on airtight stats and data, whereas I see my outcomes largely based on how I act, so as to make those stats apply to me less and less. The way I see it is if one goes through the motions like a normie, like a pedestrian in life, then you'll probably have a life that looks like the statistics play out. I know. But if you're consciously individualistic, then the chances of you falling into their cookie-cutter outcomes is highly unlikely, especially if you're not led by the ways everyone else is led, but instead pause, consider, plan, and determine how you will decide to do things, and maybe have less strings attached to you. Let me offer some advice from a guy who's made plenty of mistakes in life and gotten up again. Here's a question. Would the statistics be skewed the other way if there were more stoic-willed individuals out there that didn't just agree that their life will turn out like the stats say it will? It comes down to this. If there's a better chance of you succeeding at something you've been half-assed until now, then why wouldn't you give it a better, honest try? Especially if you'd really like it to work in your life. And especially because you know you haven't been taking it seriously until now. Because the alternative is that nothing changes. And if you're one of the clever non-participants out there who always say, oh, the only way to win, human, is not to play, well, let me ask you, what are you winning? What have you won? Nothing. Look, if you fail here and there, at least you tried, but at least you try with your eyes open and your heart open as well. But hey, why listen to my feelings on the subject? Use your life up the way you see fit. Wear it out or rust it out, as Theodore Roosevelt once said. And that is the real anguish of most men today, I think. You know, that they did everything the right way, the mathematical way, the way they were supposed to, but they still failed. And everyone is failing at doing it the mathematical prescribed way. So what's the lesson as I see it? I say, do it again. But only if it's calling you. You know, don't do it if you don't want to. But do it with your eyes open. With your tongue and your mind sharp, calculate it better this time, and for Pete's sake, do it more your way this time, because no one cares if you try their way and you fail. As you've seen in the past, you're left with what you did, not them. They don't care. Your parents won't make up for the lost time you spent listening to them. Society won't care, won't give you a do-over. If you're tired of their way and keep failing, I say it's quite rational to try a different way, a subjective way, your way. I offer you this. Make your life. Make it. Stubbornly create and recreate it your way. You'll be left with scars, maybe, stories, and maybe a few victories here and there, rather than, well, absolutely nothing. The exact same 1 + 1 = 2 life you're dissatisfied with. Just think about it, guys. I hope I gave you something to chew on, and if so, please share this video with someone, or donate if you feel like saying thanks. I appreciate it. Hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Keep swinging, guys. Later. Bye.